Welcome to Unstoppable Real Estate Investing Wealth. My name is Billy Alvaro, aka the Unstoppable VA, former billion-dollar mortgage banker, gone bankrupt, turned professional real estate investor. Where each week you'll learn the tools, strategies, systems, and secrets myself and other highly successful real estate investing entrepreneurs use to start, grow, and scale their businesses, creating massive profits, and how you can too. And we'll teach you how to put those profits to work so you no longer have to. Get ready to finally experience financial freedom and generational wealth. Now let's get started. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Unstoppable REI Wealth. I am your host, Billy Alvaro, and this is Unstoppable REI Wealth right here, the podcast, the videos, the whole entire series. I am just got back from Puerto Rico. I was away for a month. And happy to say my team crushed it when we were away, and they're doing so because we're in the phase of scaling. We've really been in this phase now for a couple of years, and I'm blessed. I have a great team, great people, great systems, great processes. Don't get me wrong, there's challenges and problems with everything that we do. I mean, that's just part of life and business. But overall, the team, when I was away, absolutely crushed it. They brought in 17 new properties for the month, which was amazing. They had, we took down a 36-unit apartment building, and I think they brought in just under $500,000 in revenue for the month. Now, I'm not saying this to brag at all. I'm simply sharing this because what I practice and say on this podcast about starting, growing, and scaling using tools and systems and secrets and the processes and everything, I practice, right? We practice this on a daily basis. And so I had a couple of people when I was away, they were asking me like, how in the hell, because I would keep guys updated in the masterminds that we're in, and a couple of the people on Facebook, we go back and forth, and they're like, how are you able to run your business virtually? And I did a podcast on that a while ago, so I'm not going to redo that and rehash it. But they also said, how are you getting as many deals as you're getting in the areas you're in? Like, I have guys that are in my masterminds that are doing 30, 40, and 50 deals a month. It's crazy. But, they're super profitable, but their deals are not as fat as ours are. So in the Northeast, we're doing less deals. 17 a month is great, but we're not killing it in any sense of the word. But how are we still getting 15, 17, 20 deals a month in an environment where it's extremely hard to drive in business right now? I mean, think about it. There's such a limited amount of properties for sale, properties that fit our criteria for fix and flip on the fix and flip side. And if there's so little properties and so many guys in the industry doing what we're doing, how in the hell are we able to do what we're doing? So we do a lot of creative things, right? We have a lot of creative ways in which we take down properties, and we got good at it over the years. There's multiple ways that we do this, not just cash for deals, but multiple different things. And I spoke about a few of them over the podcast in the past. We had a couple that we went over, which was the joint equity JV split. Not going to talk about that one today. Today, I'm going to go through actually a 3-part series. Today, I'm going to talk about one of the 3 parts. This is going to be a 3-part series, creative as fuck, how to get deals done in an environment where it's really difficult to get deals done. Now, you have to think differently when you're going through this whole entire investment process. If you're speaking with sellers on the daily, you have a team that's speaking with sellers, you have to get really, really good at the rapport piece. And I've gone over this hundreds of times in the past on talks and podcasts and interviews. Know, like, and trust is extremely important, but you need to act like a detective. You need to ask really good questions in this process I'm going to take you through, because questions are going to lead you down a path as to how to identify what needs to be solved without having the right information, without acting like a detective, without acting like is called the super duper shit deal scooper. Now this is where I'm trying to explain to you where we found that if you go through this process, there's literally diamonds and duties, right? Other people might look at it as a piece of shit deal. It's never going to go through. We look at this deal as holy shit, money in the bank. We could knock it out of the ballpark and really not only help the seller make the deal happen and also earn a commission at the same time. So the super duper shit deal scooper, diamonds in the duty. I want to go over what that actually is. And I'm giving it a cute name because I want it to resonate. I want you to understand that in order for you to start doing more deals, in order for you to start scaling your business, or to just get more deals in an environment where it's very difficult to bring deals in, you need to look at deals through a different lens. You need to ask or train your people on your team to ask different questions. So this first deal I'm going to go over with you, I'm going to give you the background, right? I'm going to give you the background information on what it was so you can understand. So the deal came in. Now, initially off the get-go, if you would have gotten this information, most people, not all, would have said in the beginning stages, you know what, maybe it's worth pursuing, maybe it's not. And then after they started peeling back the onion and asking more questions, they would have realized, they would have said to themselves, you know what, this is not something I want to pursue because there was just so many issues with the property. And so that's where knowing how to get these done, getting creative could actually earn you more money. This deal, when it's all said and done, we're going to renovate it. We're in the process of renovating it right now. We projected $165,000 profit on this deal. This is a deal that most people would have just put to the side, not have pursued, or if they pursued it, they would have run into so many different things to try to overcome that they wouldn't have been able to get the deal done, right? So many different issues. So framework, you're interviewing your seller. The thing that you need to do is just question who, what, where, when, how, and why, right? You have to start thinking about those questions when you're building rapport, know, like, and trust. Everybody already knows that. You want to start asking the who, what, when, why, how, and why. And so who is very simple. You know, who's on the deed, who's involved with the situation. When this deal came in, they were asking questions as to, you know, what are you looking to accomplish? What's the situation with the property? And the situation was they were in foreclosure. They had a foreclosure date that was about 2 months away. It's a deal in New Jersey. They were trained to ask more questions. Well, why did you get in the foreclosure? What happened? They lost the business. Why did you lose the business? What happened? Their health went bad. Who was on the business? It was myself. Who was on the deed to the property? It was my wife. So you start constructing, just like you do in any other deal, you start constructing the story of the deal to figure out what you can actually do. And so once it came down to it, initially, we thought with this property, he was in foreclosure. He did have equity in the property. He had about $150,000 worth of equity. We knew that he filed bankruptcy, Chapter 7, which Chapter 7 wipes out the debts from you personally, but they're still attached to the property. We also knew that he had multiple judgments that still, even though they were wiped out in the Chapter 7, they still needed to be dealt with. And he had a $1.8 million tax lien from the IRS, multiple tax liens. He had, I think, from memory, it was either 7 or 8 years, multiple tax liens attached to the property. Now, with that information up front, most people would say, how the hell am I going to get this done? There's $1.8 million in IRS tax liens. There's judgments of $185,000 in judgments that were on the head to the property. And he's in foreclosure. And it's not in his name. The deal's in his name and his wife's name. The judgments were only in his wife's name for the IRS. The business judgments were his name. So it was a hairy, convoluted deal. So when they brought this to me, it's not a short sale, right? It's not like we have to go through this whole short sale process, but it is debt negotiation. So I looked at this and I'm like, all right, I have tons of experience with getting IRS liens either eliminated or brought down, the whole menu. I was like, I can get judgments eliminated for pennies on the dollar. So I'm like, take the deal in, like make this a priority, work on this, get title ordered ASAP so we know what the hell we're dealing with. And so let's get the ball rolling. So the ball was rolling, right? We had this whole property. We didn't know if we were going to be able to get it done. I had a good sense that we were going to, but you don't know until you start unraveling. We had to deal with the foreclosure, put that off 1 or 2 times, maybe 3. And so as title comes in, we got title in quick. We realized there was on top of the $1.8 million in tax liens, the multiple judgments that were on the head, there was, along with their mortgage that was in foreclosure, there was a second mortgage that was $500,000 that was attached to the property that was taken out in 2006 that nobody could find the paperwork. Nobody could find the mortgage. Nobody could find the note, and nobody could find, most importantly, the satisfaction. He was saying it was satisfied. I had a sense that it was not satisfied. And so, but he was swearing up and down in 2006, he did a refi. Oh, he did a payoff, and the satisfaction should be somewhere. They couldn't locate the bank. The bank that originally did the deal is no longer in existence, so there's a whole issue with that. And then there was a third mortgage for $65,000 it was missing. It was a $65,000 lien from like 27 years ago, so I couldn't do an ancient mortgage because it's 30 years out here. And so Agent mortgage is basically an affidavit stating that, mortgage is released. We couldn't do that. We had to get sat. So now I'm dealing with $500,000 lien on the head mortgage, a $65,000, $1.8 million IRS judgments, and the $185,000 judgments plus the mortgage foreclosure that we're dealing with. So diamonds in the duty. We focused. We asked the right questions. We found out who was involved with the situation. If his wife was involved with certain pieces, he was involved with certain pieces. The business was involved with certain pieces. He no longer lived in the house. He vacated, moved to Florida, bought a property in Florida because that's his homestead. Wasn't going to lose that one. He knew he was going to lose this one. And so couldn't file bankruptcy again because he already did the Chapter 7. He wiped out all of his debts. As we peel back the layers on this thing, as we peel back the layers of this onion, we started really getting into figuring out how to make it happen. So now with the $500,000 lien and the 65, simple. There's companies out there that locate missing satisfaction. So my frame of mind, if they're going to charge $250, I'm of the mind frame where I'm not going to go down the road with one person, one company, have them try to see if they can get that satisfaction done. And if they can't, go to the second person. Why? Because time is of the essence. We're going to lose this deal if we don't get to work quick. So me, invest $750, go down 3 paths at one time, get these companies that find satisfactions of these liens, have it deploy all of them at the same time. Whoever gets it gets it. And if all 3 of them get it, we pay it 3 times. Who gives a shit? Bottom line, 1 out of the 3 got it done. 2 of them could not find it, could not satisfy it, could not get the deal done at all. If we would have used those 2 or the first one, went down that one road and then realized they couldn't do it, we would have been screwed. We would have lost the deal. So that $500,000 lien, work and play. We got the $500,000 satisfaction figured out. We got that eliminated. We got the $65,000 loan eliminated. We got the $1.8 million in IRS tax liens eliminated from the property literally 5 days before the foreclosure. And those judgments for $185, we got those knocked down to $8,000. So the bottom line, super duper shit deal scooper, diamonds in the duty. We made a deal happen, and you can make deals happen too. If you just ask the right questions, you probe the seller, you have to figure out, if you don't have the answers of how to get this done, you can't automatically assume the deal's dead. How could I creatively make this happen? Is there a way to make this happen? Is there a service that can help me? Hence getting the $500,000 lien eliminated. Who has negotiated with the IRS before? If you haven't done it, has somebody in your network done it? Does somebody in your network know somebody who's done it? Have you stopped a foreclosure in the past? Now, remember, we're not talking short sales here. This is not a short sale. This is a deal with equity on the mortgage side, but with tons of liens and judgments that encumbered the property where it looked like a short because of all the liens and judgment, but in essence, it wasn't a short at all. It was a regular deal that just had a shit ton of problems with this property. And because we thought outside the box, we focused on the problems, we gave the sellers, all the seller wanted was to get out of that thing with all the stuff that he had in his house. He wanted to get back to him in Florida, had no means to do it, had no capital to do it. He had a lot of personal effects, some really emotional attachments to some personal stuff inside this property. That was his want, his desire. He didn't care about money. He didn't care about the property. He cared about his personal effects that he had to pick up and go to Florida. He's extremely sick. The wife's extremely sick. And so all he wanted were those things. So once we found out that he just wanted the stuff that was in the property that was worth something to him, emotionally tied to this stuff, we knew that was his out. We said to him, if we can make this happen, would you go through it? It's going to be difficult. You're going to have to sign a lot of paperwork. We're going to have to go through. It's going to be challenging, not going to be easy at all. But is this something you want us to help you with? And when he said yes, we got cracking, went to work, and we made the deal happen. I'm so proud of the team. I mean, this is a deal. I'll go through it as a case study. It needs about $60,000 in work, and it's going to be about $165,000 in profit. I mean, home run deal. And so the only way to make this happen is by thinking outside the box. So this is the creative as fuck 3-part series. And so think, if you have deals, when you're speaking with the sellers, not every deal is a home run, but if you start digging deep enough, I think you're going to come, if the deal's fucked up, you're going to start realizing there's creative ways to make this happen. And those of you who solve big problems get paid big money. $165,000 in this property because we're solving a problem And more importantly, we're giving the seller what they want. This is a win-win. This isn't just a win for us and a lose for the seller. Win-win. I found out most important to them was their stuff in the home. Most important, not money, not the money they couldn't even get out because the IRS wouldn't allow it. They just wanted their stuff that was inside the property. And so by going through this and getting creative and asking questions, who, what, where, why, when, and how, those are the questions. Just think, who's involved in the deal? What's going on in your life that got you to this point? What happened with your business? Why did you lose your business? What happened with the IRS? What caused you to fall behind with the IRS? What was this $500,000 lien, this mortgage taken out for? Oh, it was a line of credit. What'd you use a line of credit for? Like all these different questions that come up in your regular conversation. You need to think like a detective, start peeling back the onion, building your story. And then once you have the story, you have all the facts, then you can start figuring out what you have to do or what you can do to solve their freaking problem. And I'm telling you, once you start solving problems, you're going to take deals that you think are dead and you're going to start getting paydays of 30, 40, 50, in this case, $165,000. Now I'm going to take you through on the next couple of podcasts, Creative as Fuck 3-part series. I'm going to take you through the other 2 ways that we got deals done. The next one we're going to talk about on the next series is called Till Death Do Us Part. Really freaking creative way that we got a deal done. We actually did this twice in the last 2 years. And it's part of our now just repertoire. It's part of our process. It's in our toolbox where, we have deals that kind of look like this type of scenario, which we'll go through in the next podcast. There's big money. We got one property that when it's all said and done, it's probably going to make us $500,000. It's a home run. And the one I'm going to talk about that we just did recently this past month, it's a home run. It's not a grand slam, but it's still a home run deal. And the best thing, it's a win for them. They're getting exactly what they want, and it's a win for us. And we beat out every single competitor out there. And this is the most important thing about this. We're beating out all of our competitors because we're getting fucking creative. We're getting creative. We're doing things that other people don't know how to do. And so it's working. And the last one I'm going to go over with you is Judgment Day. This is the third type of deal, Judgment Day. Now, this is a creative way to make more money on a deal. So you're solving a problem, but you're really just maximizing the profit on the deal. And so Judgment Day, we're going to go through. That's the third part of the podcast. Now, look, you guys are listening. If you want the tools that I'm dealing with, the secrets, the strategies, everything that I speak about, if it's something that's going on, we have it at the website, billyalvaro.com or Billy's Secrets. And so if you want to learn, partner, or invest with me, go to billyalvaro.com, check it out. I mean, look, we're doing major investments, 18 deals last month, 17 deals last month in the fix and flip business. We just started our commercial division. We just picked up the first 36-unit apartment building. The goal with the apartments is 5,000 units over the next 9 years. Profitable units. Some people say, you're crazy. Why are you doing this? Why are you going? Look, I'm working 10 hours a week in my fix and flip. Eventually, when I get a COO, I'll be like out of that business and just overseeing just a few of the numbers. I get bored if I sit around. I don't mind working. I actually enjoy it. I just have to have a goal. And so the goal is 5,000 units, and we're going to be heading down that road. So if you want to learn with me, if you want to invest with me, if you want to partner with me, go to billyalvaro.com. Put your money to work. We have deals that we can put you into. If instead of sitting on the sidelines, if you want to learn this business and you have money, put money in a deal. I'll show you what we do, and you'll earn and learn at the same time. You have a deal you want to JV with. You have a deal you want to partner with. You have a creative deal that you don't know how to get done. That's where you link up with me. I can put more money in your pocket with these creative deals than anybody else on the planet because I just know what the hell I'm doing. Had a mortgage bank for years, had a title company for years, been doing investments for years. I just see things a little bit differently, and I get really freaking creative on how to solve problems. And when you solve the problems, you make the money. All right, I think that's it. Hit me up. I hope you enjoyed this quick broadcast. We're going to be going and doing the other two in the 3-part series, Creative as Fuck. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one.